Hi everybody, it's your boy Trey, and today is April 20th, 2024. And today is now 1:40 a.m. in the morning. And I want to wish you guys a happy 420 out there. Hope you guys have a great day and enjoy yourself and be safe. Smoke to your limit and what you can handle. Yes, so with that being said, today is officially 2 months. 2 months. Could you believe it has already been 2 months since I've had my surgery, my bottom surgery. For you guys who are new to my channel, I'm a trans man. I'm FTM. I was born a female, and I'm proud to say I'm a male. I've been transitioning, believe it or not, but for almost 5 years. May 8th will make 5 years that I've been transitioning. It's been an amazing journey. It's has not been always great. Nothing in life comes easy. It's always hurdles and things that you have to cross and jump. Yes, with that being said, with hurdles and everything and how it's being jumped, I'm gonna put in a whole loop of what I've been dealing with. Yes, I've had bottom surgery February 20th of this year, which made today 2 months that I've been post surgeries. Like, wow. I can't believe it. I write down a lot of stuff, a few stuff actually, not a lot, to bring to you guys, to talk to you guys about it, and hope that it would answer a lot of you guys' questions pertaining to my phalloplasty journey. Um, for those who don't know what is phalloplasty, phalloplasty is a stage 3 surgery. It's a trans man surgery. It's from female to male surgery, bottom surgery. It takes to 3 surgeries, 3-stage surgery. Some people have more, believe it or not. Some people have more steps to their surgeries due to complications and different stuff like that. So it very varies on the length of how much surgeries you will have or how long it would take for you to recover. Yes, with that, I wrote down a lot of stuff on my phone to basically, start sharing with you guys and different stuff like that. But yes, it's been officially 2 months, 8 weeks. Oh my God, this has been a journey. It has been a journey. It has not always been those days where I've been smiling. And it's been some rainy days for me, believe it or not. It has been some rainy days. I've, researched a lot of persons on YouTube, and I saw their channels and their journeys, and everyone is different. And it's crazy how some people recover quicker, some people have more complication, some persons are not even successful, some people stop procedures. There's a lot of different things that persons do, coming to the last minute. Trans man surgery is not really trans man, but to have bottom surgery, it's a big surgery. It's a very big surgery that is entailed to a lot of risk. A lot of complications can happen. A lot of things can go wrong. You can lose the fallow, you can lose the grafting, something can happen to your grafting. There's a lot of things can go wrong during your recovery stages and stuff like that. So with that being said, like I said, I have a lot that I will share with you guys. Um, yes, I will start off by talking. In my videos, I've spoke a lot about my catheter throughout my healing process. For those who don't know, my catheter was installed through my urethra after having my follow surgery. With that being said, I did not have a best journey when it comes to my catheter. I've said that a lot of times in my last videos, but I can never stop stretching this catheter because it has been a lot, a lot that I've dealt with pertaining to this catheter. It was like a nightmare to me. Um, my urethra, sorry, was, I guess it was not ready to switch over, like I always say, but that had given me a little of a trouble. I would say a lot of trouble I've had with my catheter being in. With my catheter being in, it has deflated twice. The first time it had came down, it wasn't as bad as my last time. The last time, like I've showed in my last video, I will repeat in this one as well. It had deflated in me during the time of me using the washroom. It was like giving a birth. Giving birth to a kid is how painful it was as it deflated inside of me, where I was emergency rushed to a different hospital, where I was back in Toronto after having my surgery in Montreal. I was, rushed to a different hospital that did not specialize in my surgery itself, as in a follow for female to male, but most of the hospitals here in Toronto specialize in male to female surgery. So it's very difficult to find the persons that are, familiar with this surgery, seeing that has been a surgery in Toronto that happened years ago. And not that much person does it in Toronto when it comes to phalloplasty. Most of them goes to either Montreal or to the US and different places like that. People have their options on where they want to have their surgery. So my surgery was new to the hospitals and different things that I went to, so that made it even 10 times harder. With my recovery stage, seeing that, after having my complications, had no answers in the hospital here in Toronto. I had to drive to Montreal. I could have flew, but my experience in flying when I left Montreal was not the best experience. So I choose to drive, and I like the whole scenery and thing, the road trip type thing. So that's a whole plus for me as well. When that, not saying to be too carried away on what I've, came here to share with you guys, but my catheter experience was crazy. In my last videos, you can check that out. Bad experience with my catheter. Deflated, it came down emergency room. Second time, I was bleeding. A lot of fluid was coming out of it. I guess I would say where the catheter has deflated, it probably left some. It didn't probably. It had left trauma to the urethra, which will where the catheter was installed for me to urine. So that made it difficult. So when I when I left the hospital after getting the catheter installed again, I came home to continue my recovery. And there were times when I would cough and fluid would come out through the area where the urethra, not sorry, not the urethra, where the catheter was installed. So that was a part of it. Was like it started off like a red, like I wouldn't say a reddish color, but it was more like a pinkish. I can't really say, but it was like more of fluid mix. So I would say blood was in it. It was more of the blood, but it wasn't as red. But this was to the point where I knew that it had to be in a plate to when the catheter had deflated. So that was the whole thing about it. So I would cough sometime. It really depends on the angle I set. So if I sit up a certain way, if I'm up too high and I cough or I sneeze, liquid used to come out. I used to get discouraged. I was like, every 2 days I'm using saline wash, and not 2 days, every few minutes I'm using saline washes and gauze and so much things just to keep that area dry, so it in hopes that it will heal, because that particular area has to be healed, like it has to be healed in order to for you to remove that catheter. The purpose of the catheter is to keep that area open and sealed. For the type of surgery that I've had, I had a donor site from my forearm, which will be this here, and this was covered by my thigh, which I have my grafting from my left thigh. I will get into that later on. I also have my packer, where I will basically show you guys on how my areas came, but I wanted to talk within the catheter, seeing that I have started my previous videos with the catheter. So I just wanted to like start this one off in continuation of what I've went through prior to. Um, with that being said, yes, my catheter was not the best experience, I would most definitely say. I'm just looking through all the points so I can make sure I can hit it all, so I can answer all questions that were being asked, and maybe questions that were never, you know, answered. Hopefully, I can answer due to my experience and what I went through to my phalloplasty stage one, just stage one, but I'm doing great. Yeah, so it was the catheter deflating 2 times, which caused me to have to install it back in for additional 15 more days just to keep the area to heal, to get dry and stop letting out liquids and different stuff like that. Yes. Okay. So I will get back into also speaking about my swelling. I had a lot of swelling in my follow. I had follow like a lot of swelling became in my follow. I would say a week after having my surgery. So I would say like 11, 12 days within having surgery. Um, But it all started to me traveling back to Toronto, flying on the plane 11 days after having surgery. Bad idea. I will recommend you guys to not fly so quick back to wherever you have to go, recover at least, I would say, 2, 3 weeks before, taking a flight. You never know you're landing. You never know if there's turbulence. You never know anything of what can happen on a flight. So I would say that was not a good experience for me to go back to Toronto so soon. But I was doing great. But I'm probably hitting back to Toronto complications due to swelling and fluid buildup and different stuff like that. So, with that being said, like I'm saying, swelling, I have swelling. Still, a little bit of swelling is in. Remember, it's just 2 months post that I've had my stage one phalloplasty. I still have a little bit of swelling in my arm. I don't know if you can see it that much. If I can put this hand there, you can see that this hand is more slimmer than this hand. So I still have a little bit more swelling in this area here. I would say from this finger to this finger. Sensation wise, I would say I have feeling in this. It's just somewhat of a tingling feeling at times. Like moving it used to be like some tingling feeling. To know that 2 months time I can function in my hand, but I would say not quite fully when it comes to turning my hand. I can turn it however I please to turn it. I can open it, I can bend it. My bending is not that strong as yet with this here, seeing that this is still in the healing process here. So this is a little bit still tight. For those with this grafting here, it's like a thin layer of skin coming off your thigh, and they put it here, attach it, stitch, and different stuff like that to cover. It's like, so that would not heal on its own because that would be just open flash. So they just use the donor area to put a skin across it, and this is how it's looking in 2 months. I have some videos up what shows my stages. You can go and check them out too. It should be a video before this one. But yeah, like I said, you can still see the swelling here. And I also had swelling. I have a little bit of swelling on the right side of I'm not sure if to call it growing. No, I would say the sides. Let me see if I can stand up and show you guys. Like this area right here, I still have like like a little bit of a small piece of swelling right there. um it's not as hard and big as it was before. And the craziest thing is I've never get to see my surgical site, like literally seeing the surgical site until the swelling had decreased. And my swelling decreased within, I would say, a little after a month. I would say maybe 3.5 weeks. Most of my swelling started to go down. The swelling before, it was like, it was so discomfortable. It was by the, what can I say? How can I say it? How can I say it? That little pocket had swelling with a little bit of fluid because that's where they got a little bit of nerve artery, sorry, the artery from that side, and they place it in the follow sensation nerves, different stuff like that with the whole surgery that I had. Um, so that gave me most of my problems when it comes to swelling. So it was like discomfort in walking, and you're swelling, and the testicles are rubbing together, and it was not comfortable for me personally. Um, so that was one of my problems when it came to the swelling. Let me see if I cover most of them. Want to make sure I get everything. So yes, I had swelling on the lower area for where I had my phallus made, my scrolums and different stuff like that, and where I had those made, I never realized how much stitching or how much things had been stitched, or what happened down there, because it was always so swollen. And now that the swelling is down, when I took a shower, it was like I take the mirror, because I'm always looking in the mirror in that area, because that's how I was trained after having surgery. Keep a mirror there to make sure that the surgical site is clean at all time and different stuff like that. So I had a mirror there, and I'm looking in that area, and now that the swelling is down, I can see that how they cut to form the phallus, to make the scrolums, to do the. So I have my packet here. Hopefully, I don't get knocked off for this, because it's a prop, So I have a packet here that I'm so happy that I no longer have to use, but this is one of them that I've used. It's actually the first one that I've got when I first, discovered the whole packer thing. I personally made my own packer before I brought one. So it was basically great. No one, like, the way I had my packer made, it was so great that no one ever even knew that it was not a packer. And I've got this within, I would say, 2 years now, and I've been transitioning for almost 5. So 3 years I've been making my own packers. So I've been doing them and making them, and I'm so happy that I don't have to no longer, you know, do these, wear them or whatever. But I decided to have this packet here to show you guys how the stitching is, because I can't show you guys. Clearly, I can't show you guys. But the stitching and where I had my problems. Okay, so I'm gonna say this packet right here. Imagine that this here is my thighs. Like, this is my legs. Around the sides, and then I'm gonna lift this piece up here. So you will see the scrollums, right? So this right here is the ball sack. I would say, I go, as natural as I can get it. So the ball sack. So I was cut on the right side, along the side here, underneath here, along here, all the way up here, and across the side, and right down the middle here. So I'm now seeing all the scarring and the tissue and different stuff like that. And I'm like, wow. Now I understand why I had so much swelling at the beginning of my surgery, and the first month, and all of these different things, to know that I always say that God give man the knowledge and the wisdom to study these type things, to know how to fix and structure these things so these parts can work. It's just so crazy. So when I get the opportunity to look in that area, and I'm like, wow, so much stitching. So yes, with that too, I will also say too, let me just lift this up. So underneath the phallus, there's a little circle spot that they have somewhere here. This is where I will do my electrolysis for my stage two, in preparation of my stage two. So I will have to do electrolysis again in that area to do stage two. This is where I will get my rod my rod um, put in the phallus. Sorry, I'm lost of words. This is where my rod will be attached. I'm not doing the deflator one. Um, so this is where it's attached, and the nerves and different things. Like I say, it's a three-stage procedure. It's not all into one, so it's a lot that they have to do. But I have a lot of stitches, knowing that I went all around from the sides. Sorry, just trying to hold it. Went all around from the sides, underneath here, all the way to the sides, all the way up here. Remember, this is my legs. So all of this here was stitched up here and along the side. So it was very difficult because this, they would swell, and it's hard when you're walking there like pressing together to each other like that. It was just crazy, you know, and it was hard for me to manage with those at first. So I would say that's one of the things that was really crazy for me during my healing stage and my phalloplasty surgery. So I'm lost in words. There's so much things that I want to cover for you guys. Um, yes, so I cover the swelling, the stitching area, and how it's stitched on there, how it's looking. And I must say, I'm 100% happy with my junk. It looks amazing. Um, Yes, I have to get in depth with a lot of this because I want to cover so much for you guys. It's been too much, and I feel like I want to share it all with you guys. You know, this journey has been tremendously, and why not celebrate it on 420? Happy 420 once again, and I don't want to do so much talking in between it, but a little bit breaks in it. But for you guys that haven't followed to my channel and you're gonna watch this eventually, I hope you guys find it in your heart to find something interesting. You do feel free to like, comment, and please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell. It will notify you when I am live or doing any upload. I have a lot to share with you guys, and I'm taking you guys on my journey. You're gonna get to see my worst of the worst. You're gonna get to see the good of the goods, and you're gonna see the best outcome of it all, and answer a lot of your questions. Um, yes, so I cover the swelling, the catheter. Like I said, I write down a lot of stuff because I want to share, make sure that I get everything out there because I feel like I've been missing like a few things, and I want to give it to you guys because a lot of people deal with things differently, but not everybody talk about them because I don't know the reason why they won't. But me personally, I feel like I want to say the goods, the bad, and everything because it might help somebody in the long run. You know, everybody want to research something and have answers. You know, the possibilities of what could happen if they go through this and someone else go through it. It makes it easy to give them a little bit of hope that you know they can overcome it because someone went through it, and you know they're going through it now, and this might help them, you know, be able to push through. um yes. Okay, so yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna go into infections. uh, Infections. A lot of persons ask, did I have any infections? Yes, indeed, I had an infection. My infection was not a big infection. It was called right before it even got anywhere. Thank God to a great surgeon, a man, a great work, a man that has great knowledge and knows what he's doing. He always knows what to do. Thanks so much, Dr. Langani. Oh God, thanks so much. Um, yes, so I was most definitely faced with infection. I had a surgical site infection. For you guys who don't know what is a surgical site infection, It had nothing to do with the surgery itself. The surgery itself was great. It was successful. Living proof here 2 months later. um, it had a lot to do with my recovery, and how my body react to, healing. Everybody body reacts differently. Some people have surgeries and no complications. I'm Unfortunately, I had complications. I've had infection, and it was caught way before it even got out of hand. But I was faced with a few things while having my 10-day, was it 10-day? 10-day treated infection that went way before the 10 days. Um, like I say, thank God to Dr. Langani. Yes, infection. My infection started with a buildup of fluid. Fluid is possible of building up when it comes to surgery. I had three drains installed during my surgery. One was at the lower area where the foul is. Two was above the foul is. So one was at the side and one was at the top. Those drains were eventually removed. I would say like 3, 4 days after having surgery because nothing were going in the drain. Um, so they were eventually removed. So that was a plus, and they eventually closed on its own. My body somehow builds fluid because of my blood type. I have a very crazy blood type. And also my white blood cell count, it's basically a genetic thing. My white blood cell count is lower than my red blood cells. So with white bloods, you need white blood cells in order to heal a wound and to, fight off sickness and different stuff like that. And apparently, my low count has always been low. And with that being said, I was faced with complications that my body could not fight off. So that's what I was faced with. But on the lucky side, I had antibiotics that fight it off and give me a great follow at the end of the day. So I'm grateful for, to have medication and have a surgeon that is well knowledge on these things to help prevent these things, for probably future surgeries that I have coming along, which I have two more to do. With my infection, a lot have happened. I've had fluid buildup in the testicle area where not directly in the testicle, but it was swollen. I had fluid on the right pocket side of where they had removed the artery from, and eventually had so much fluid that it began to swell my phallus. My phallus was swollen so big till it eventually the fluid came through the head of the stitch of the phallus. So I would take this here and I would say if this was my phallus, the fluid came from here. It around the head, it just opened. Not like it just popped like a balloon. Like I remember going in the shower and took a shower, long shower. Everything was looking good. The swelling started to happen. I got out of the shower. I started to air dry so the swelling can go down because standing up after a while, eventually it swells. So with that, what I've done was I lay down on the bed. I was in the recovery at that point in time, and I laid on the bed, air dry, and the swelling. And I remember resting my phallus on my thigh because after having surgery, they will tell me to put the phallus on the left side due to where they had the artery removed on the right side, so just rotate it. So I had put it on the left side, just let it dry and different stuff like that because I still had my stitches, I still had scabs, I still had different stuff like that. So, just separating it from everything so everything can open up and air dry at the same time. And I remember picking up the phallus off my leg and the fluid just came out, and I'm looking at it like, you gotta be kidding me, and it was so hard to see, knowing that I fought, like I felt like I don't know. I did not know I was back in Toronto. I just wanted to go back Montreal because when I was in Montreal, none of it happened, and I felt as if it was just like my top surgery. 1 week after I left Montreal after having my top surgery, fluid. But it all came down where, like I say, my rare condition of low white blood cell count could not fight off any bacteria, could not heal wounds fast enough, and at a slower pace. So it's almost like with a person with a low white blood cell count, it need more of a higher dose of medication to fight off any bacteria that are coming on and different stuff like that. But my blood work with that information was not sent to my surgical um, team that performed the surgery, so they was not aware of this at this present point of time. But now they're aware of it. They're like, "Oh man, we could have saved so much time," all of these different things like that. It's always a little smallest of errors that be bypassed at the end of the day. Um, yes, my infection, like after having to go to Montreal to deal with that and started to up my medication and different stuff like that for about a week. I would say probably the medication was like based for like a week. So after going Montreal and dealing with that, it was like hope started to fail me a little. And you see my last one of my videos that I have up with my doctor visit. I think it was the time that I had installed the catheter back in. I cried because I was like, you know what? What did I do? Did I make a mistake? Did I, because it started to get overwhelmed. Like, this is a big surgery. Like, your body intakes a lot. A lot. You got to be mentally, physically, shit, emotionally, whatever it takes, you have to be ready for a surgery like this. This is big. Your body is intaking a lot, a lot. And I would say hats off to those that made it further than I did, and I'm just at stage one, and I'm excited to go to stage two, even though I was faced with complications. It's just like I'm so happy of my turnout after having the complications and to know how I'm feeling now. I'm excited to see what's coming next. I'm a little bit on the scared side because I don't know what stage two holds, but going through stage one, it prepares me for two, and two prepares me for three. So it all works out at the end of the day. Um, Apart from my catheter deflating 2 times, giving me all of the crazy stuff, and the fluid, the swelling, and the minor infection of the surgical site. With that surgical site, when I had went back to Montreal, my doctor had was my I think it was my doctor assistant. Well, anyway, that particular surgeon was in the surgery room that day when I had my surgery with my surgeon. So my surgeon was not present there for that doctor visit, but the other surgeon was. And when he had saw me, um, right then and then to remove some of the fluid, he removed like a little bit of I don't know how to. Okay, the phallus is already has a line in in the phallus already prepared. So for the rod, it will be easy to install the rod once it's time to install the rod, which will be stage two. Um, with that, he removed the tissue that the skin that covered around the head of the phallus. He removed a little bit of that and squeezed the head of the phallus, allowing a little bit of the fluid to come out, giving it room or giving it a little exit spot to let the fluid out. Because when you have fluid build up in your body, wherever that fluid can comes out, it's gonna come. See, because my body is now adjusting to a foreign location. Like it's a foreign area. It's going in a different direction. Sorry. And with that being said, it just needed somewhere to drain. and removing that from the head of the phallus, like a little small hole, which will be the hole where I will be urine from when I do stage two. So that was removed, and so I have my opening. um, so yes, I'm losing trend. Yes. Okay. So he removed that and drained some of the fluid out from there. It was much better. Like I say, after taking the antibiotics for the 7 days, it went away. It The bleeding stopped, the fluid stopped draining out, the phallus, like all the scabs were off, the stitches was removed. Like it was beautiful. Like it was like a rebirth. Like it felt so good to finally not have to sit down inside the bed and keep having to throw saline on it and pat dry it and air dry. It feels so good now that I can sleep in my underwears and I don't have to sleep naked anymore. I hated to sleep naked every day. Every day I have to sleep naked because you have to air dry and make sure the area is dry at all times, just so I can have a quicker heal. So from I was in the hospital to when I came home, I was still sleeping nude, just to recover because of the complications and things that I was facing. So I would say my journey was not always glips and giggles. I've had my fair shares of rocky days, and these are some of them here. And I save it to talk to you guys in this 2 month video because I want you guys to know it all. Like, this is it. Like, I'm gonna give it to you guys like I promised you guys, and as it's real as it gets. Um, yes, let me make sure I cover that piece. Yeah, the reason why I understand most of, I would say all of my reasons of the complications and how the phallus was made and why this was made this way and that was made this way, all after my swelling went down. I look at the area every day. I'm happy to look at my junk. I look at my stuff every day in the mirror, check it out, make sure everything is clean, everything is good, everything is still in its right space. And I must say, a lot has went down there. A lot have happened there to get me where I'm at now, and knowing that it's just stage one and there's two more, but this is the biggest one out of the three. This is the longest one out of the three, and it's the longest recovery out of the three. This is the most one that can have the most complication out of the three. So it is just riding over this first storm, and I feel like I did a great job within 2 months. I'm moving, moving, and I'm excited to, get the opportunity to share this movement with you guys. Mm. Yes, and a lot of people talk about when was the moment, ask the question, when was the moment I had any regrets or if I had any regrets. I wouldn't say too much that I had regrets. But if we're going to use the word regret, I would say most of my regret came from my pain, my catheter. What else I would say? The healing, like most of my pain, I would say was the catheter, was the swelling, I had, I don't think I had any regrets about the surgery itself. It's just that when you're in so much pain and you don't know what to do, and me personally, and what I went through, I've recovered in clinic, hospital, like a little small community recovery, and I recovered there for, I say about 2 weeks, a week, 2 weeks, maybe, if not. And to be there and go through these complications and no one knew about the surgery or what to do in this case, that's when I lost hope. I'm in pain and I'm hearing the nurses and the doctors telling me they don't know what to do, and it's the middle of the night, it's early in the morning, 2 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in pain. And how am I supposed to get 5.5 hours to Montreal? Or how am I supposed to call my surgeon? How am I supposed to do all these things now to get up there to figure out what's going on with me? Because right now I'm stuck in Toronto and no one knows what the hell to do with me. So that made me have regrets, as in, am I gonna die? Especially when the phallus, when I had the infection with the phallus. Like I said, doing my research, all I saw was bad results. So when I started, like, I didn't have the decaying of the meat, the phallus, and I didn't have none of that. But when I had the fluid came through the side of the phallus, at the head, that I felt like I was gonna lose every bit of it. I thought that, something was gonna happen. I wouldn't be able to use it. I It was bad. Like, my surgeon was on it. Like, I would text, I would not text, email. I would send an email 24 hours. They're open. Like, someone would always email you back. It might not happen right away, but you will know within 24 hours you will get a response. If it's emergency, you're gonna get that right away. And my surgeon was always on point. His medical staff was always there to, answer email, call me. He even called me himself and he was like, "How do you feel if you want to come down now? Let me check it out personally." Like that's the type of surgeon I have, and that made me feel a little bit of a life that there's hope, because I believed in him. I put my life in his hand, and I know that I would have been happy at the end of the day, but I was never well prepared for the complications. And I would say, most definitely, for you trans guys out there that are looking to have phalloplasty surgery, there is the most high risk of complications in it. But I would say stay strong, stay positive. I went through them. A lot of persons might have, some speak about them, some doesn't. Um, but I had fluid buildup. I had an infection at the head of the phallus, where most of my fluid came out. It was days when it came out white. There were days when it came out pink. It was days that came out red. It was all over the place. Like, it was too much. But every day I kept pushing, and I was like, you know what? It's swollen now. Just take a seat. There were days when I would just sit in a wheelchair because the swelling started, and the last thing I wanted to do is fluid comes out. But that eventually went away. So that was God working by my side with that there. I had like a week of that, and then gradually everything just started going. The remaining of the stitches started falling out. The area started to seal. It started closing, and then it was like a rebirth. It's like the dead, like the scalp came off and the new skin gone on. It was just crazy. It was like I watched it, and when I look back at my photos, I can't show you guys because of, I don't know. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube with showing my junk. That's why I brought a prop. But with that, I would say I would say that was when I most definitely had my regrets. The pain was most definitely uncomfortable. It was unbearable. It was almost like every time I healed from one thing, I was hit with another one. Example, my phallus stopped swelling. Then the side of my phallus, like on the side of where they had taken the artery from, that started giving me problem. When that stopped giving me problem, the little ring where the clitoral, that area with, some people get that shaft down. My own, I haven't get it. Urethral lengthen, I haven't get that one. But with that, I did not have that. Like, in my country, we would say the vagina lips. I did not have that much lips, So one side was okay, and then the other side was almost like they had to take, like, pull the that area to attach it to this. It was I don't even know how to explain it to you, but it is neatly done. Like, you can hardly see the stitching line. I can see it because I can feel it. I can feel the line because it's smooth. It's like, it's literally smooth. Like, it's flatter than this. It's hardly noticeable. It's much lighter. It's blending with my skin, but like I said, it's still a little bit. I can feel it, sensitive. Um, in that area there, I'm still able to sit, do all these things that I could not do with the catheter or the infection or the swelling. So that is a major difference to know that 2 months and I'm looking so freaking great. I'm excited, and I think I've covered a lot. I think I've covered a lot of information on what I was faced with in 2 months of me having my bottom surgery. So, yes, with that being said, happy 420 to you guys once again. It's your boy Trey, and I'm a FTM. I'm a trans man. This is my life story. This is my journey. This is my chapter 2, Phalloplasty, bottom surgery stage 1. I'm so excited because in June I will be going to see my doctor again, and after that, I will be preparing for stage 2 that possibly can be 2 and 3 in 1. So I might not have to go back for a third surgery. I might end up being lucky to do my stage 2 and 3 at once. My healing is going great. I'm doing amazing. I'm back into fitness. I'm, gradually pacing myself back into fitness. For those who know me personally, I love working out. Not being able to work out was very hard. I'm still doing a little bit of therapy on my arm. Like I say, it's still with a little bit of swelling. I have my sleeve. I'm not sure if I brought my sleeve too small, but I would say once you wear those compression sleeves, they are really, 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 really tight. So I noticed that when I wear it, it swells a little bit more up here. So I don't wear it as much when I'm home. I don't. But if I'm going out, I will throw it on as much. So this is how it's looking in 2 months. I have some healing Vaseline on it. I usually put the vitamin E cream on it, but I decided to put the Vaseline on it at night because I still have this area here that it's not open, but it still needs to get dark. The dark spots on it, those are my tattoos, clearly. But this is how it looks now at stage 1. Follow 1 month. Sorry, not look at me. I'm going back. This is stage 1 of 2 months post after having my bottom surgery. And also, with that being said, to conclude and to wrap this up, I have given you guys a lot of information, and I will be dropping a lot more things. Be answering a lot more of your questioning. Like I say, I will be dropping it off for you guys every week. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Show you guys some love. Show your boys some love and support. Press that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, share the link, tell a friend. Get it out there. Big up to all you trans guys out there that are in preparation to doing your phalloplasty or doing bottom surgery, whatever bottom surgery you're doing, or whatever surgery you're doing, whether it's top, bottom, whatever it is. Big up to you guys, and keep it up, keep positive, keep strong. You might hit some bumps and blips here, but stay positive. Don't lose the hope. I've hit it, I've came out of it, and I know you can do it as well. So chin up and keep your head up. With that, last, I'm going to talk about my leg. This is going to be quick because this is one of the first places that healed quick. This healed within the first month. I would say within the second 2.5 weeks, I was out of bandage and air drying. It starts off with a light color, like it's blending in, and then it gets red, and then it gets dark, and then it gets blue, black, and all these different things. And throughout the months and the years of healing, the year of healing in this leg here, it would eventually go back to my normal color. I have some photos up where you can basically see the stages on how it healed, but this is how it's looking so far. Oh, some of junk won't come out. So this is how it look. I don't know why I always hold my hand up like this, but this is how it's looking so far. You can see in some areas it's already started blending into my skin color. Some areas is already starting to come in. I'm losing most of it. As you can see, this part here is already started fading away. But if you're closer, you can see that the line starts somewhere here, so it's starting to blend into its color. I can feel it in every which way possibly, but my only problem is when it comes to that part is it itch like a the healing process on this thing is ridiculous. I'm telling you, like it itches so much. Sometimes I want to just peel it off. You know how you peel banana? I'm just, I just want to peel it off. Like it itches so bad, but it's all a part of healing process. And you know, everything heals differently. Like this here is tight, but it isn't like it ain't tight to the point where you can't move it. You like literally you can move it. You can do all your things with it. Like you can move it and do whatever you have to do with it, but it's almost like a thick layer of skin. It's like my friends say it's like leather. But yes, this is going well. Like I said, a little bit of swelling here. I'm praying it goes because I don't know, it gives like a tingling feeling at times and it's annoying. So I'm hoping that this will be the last thing here. My fallow is perfect. It's like, thank you, Dr. Lancaster. Thank you. You make me a big man. But yes, thank you guys so much for all the love and support that you have given me. I want to wrap this up here. Happy 420 once again. I hope you guys have a great high day. It's your boy Trey, and I'm a FTM. I'm gonna keep saying it because I'm proud. I'm a FTM, and I was born a female, and I'm happy to say I'm almost five years after transitioning. So it's been amazing. My journey has, when I thought that it has begun, it started all over again. So I have two more stages to this here, and I'm complete. It's been an amazing journey. Like I said, it wasn't easy. Complications are made to happen, but don't lose hope. For you guys who don't know why I am doing this, I am doing this to share my story because there's a lot of persons who are afraid to have these surgeries because of complications and risk and different things. But if I can overcome a complication like this, and I'm sure that there's persons that went through bigger complications than I did, and they overcome it, you can do it too. So if you want to do something, I would say follow your heart. Like, don't live in regrets that you could do it and you did not do it because you were afraid that this would happen, that would happen. Go in there with faith. I was afraid too that I would have probably never make it out there, but I believed in the man that went into the surgery. I believed in the God that protected him and his surgical team. I believed that I believed in me that I would fight anything that comes in my body, and I most certainly did. So yes, so this is stage one phalloplasty. This is 2 months after having phalloplasty surgery, stage one. It's your boy Trey, and thanks for watching. Peace.